G'day and welcome back to Celebrate Real Profit. One topic that I'd like to explore with yourselves until I get clarity around the direction of these conversations on Celebrate Real Profit is expectations. Expectations have brought me unstuck on so many occasions, and expectations, I from my own experience feels is an area that has kept me trapped, kept me caught in expectations, and then when that expectations is not fulfilled, I'll go into judgment mode. And those expectations can be, about myself, they can be expectations about others. So I would like to discuss different aspects of that, of expectations, and I'd love your feedback on your experience, your views. Please email me, kerry@kerryoshea.com, and we will explore this further. So expectations, and this is a personal one from my life. And I'm not going to give all the details, just give it as an example of, a possible expectation. So, say one person, cooks a meal, and is it the person? What's your opinion about the person who has cooked the meal to have an expectation of gratitude, acknowledgement, appreciation from the other person in the relationship to the person who's cooked the meal? So, for example, say I cooked the meal. Is it a fair expectation for me to receive acknowledgement, thank you for cooking that meal? And if so, by when? So, do I have an expectation that I should receive a thank you for when I get up from the table? Or, when I've finished cleaning up the kitchen? Or before I go to bed that night? What is the expectation that I, I'm going to say should expect? And this is where I have brought myself unstuck and has kept me trapped in my cubicle. And I say in my cubicle because as an accountant, I've spent a lot of time in a cubicle. And expectations have kept me trapped in that cubicle because I have had an expectation of, acknowledgement, gratitude, or appreciation for, say, preparing a meal. And where I have come unstuck is that expectation, when not fulfilled, turns into a judgment. And that judgment for so many years became a self-judgment, a criticism of myself that I'm not good enough. And then in other phases of my life, it's turned into blame. Well, they should, quote unquote, should say thank you. Should, judgments, blaming, they do not enhance the relationship that I have with myself. They do not support me to see the value that I am. These conversations of expectation, shoulds, judgment, blames, they don't nurture the relationship with me. And this is where expectations, just a little thing of an expectation of receiving acknowledgement, appreciation from somebody else, has brought grief to me. Grief in that, an expectation is not being fulfilled for me, and I basically set myself up for failure. So one aspect of this conversation, as I shared, this expectations conversations has multiple facets. It has become very important to me to become aware of my expectations. So yes, I've become aware of the expectation that I expect someone else to acknowledge their appreciation for them, for say the meal. The second part is the acceptance. So for me to accept, it just is and it isn't. Yes, I have an expectation. I've acknowledged it. I accept that I have the expectation. It is an expectation. It's just an expectation. Full stop. And then to give myself so much self-love and to stay focused in that self-love and to just to acknowledge me and leave it at that, full stop. This has supported me to acknowledge, accept, and support me when I see expectations, because expectations have not been serving me. So what has been your experience with expectations in relationships, expectations in any area of your life? I'd love to hear from you. My name is Kerry O'Shea. Please email me, KERRI@KERRIOSHEA.com, so we can continue this conversation. Wherever you are in the world, have a great day. My name is Kerry O'Shea, and this is Celebrate Real Profit.